Right. AI is absolutely everywhere, isn't it? It's saving lives, it's taking jobs, it's changing pretty much everything. But what's the real story behind all the hype? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to cut through the noise by digging into the latest Stanford AI Index report. Think of it as the official, no-nonsense report card for artificial intelligence.
To really understand where AI is out right now, you first have to get your head around this paradox. On the one hand, an AI can literally win a gold medal at the International Maths Olympiad. I mean, that's a feat once reserved for only the most brilliant human minds. And yet, on the other hand, some of the very best models still can't reliably read a simple analog clock. This is what researchers call the jagged frontier of AI, these incredible peaks of genius, right next to these really baffling valleys of incompetence.
Okay, so let's start with those peaks, with that great leap forward. Because we need to look beyond the chatbots we all know. AI is now making some genuine, jaw-dropping breakthroughs on some of humanity's biggest challenges. And look, we are not talking about small, gradual improvements here. The latest models are now performing at, and in some cases, well above, human expert levels. We're talking about things like answering PhD-level science questions and solving really complex competitive maths problems. That is a massive, massive leap in capability. What's really striking, though, is the sheer speed of this progress. Just take cybersecurity. In 2024, AI agents had about a 15% success rate in solving tricky problems. Today, that figure has absolutely soared to 93%. Now, that's not just learning. That's mastering a critical, real-world skill at a pace that is, frankly, breathtaking. And all this progress means AI is shifting from being just a tool to becoming a genuine collaborator in scientific discovery. I mean, for the first time ever, an AI ran a complete weather forecast pipeline from start to finish. In astronomy, there's a new model that's automating observations across 10 telescopes at the same time. AI is becoming a proper lab partner for scientists.
And this isn't just happening in labs. It's already in our hospitals. Tools that automatically write up clinical notes are being rolled out everywhere. And the impact? It's huge. Physicians are reporting they spend up to 83% less time bogged down in paperwork, which is leading to a major drop in burnout. This is a real, tangible benefit for people on the front lines, right now.
Right. But, and it's a very big but, all this incredible power comes with a kind of hidden price tag. So for this next section, we really need to talk about the very real and rapidly growing costs of this AI revolution. Let's kick off with the environmental cost. The report estimates that training just one of these cutting-edge models, Grok 4, produced nearly 73,000 tons of CO2 equivalent emissions. That is just a staggering number for a single training run. And to put that number into perspective for you, the emissions from training that one model are about the same as the annual emissions from 17,000 petrol cars. Yeah, that's an entire town's worth of cars just to train one AI. And it's not just the training either. The cumulative power demand of all the AI systems currently running across the globe is now comparable to the entire annual electricity consumption of a country like Switzerland. The scale of the energy we're talking about is just immense. This progress is also unbelievably expensive. In 2025, private investment in AI in the US hit nearly $286 billion. That absolutely dwarfs the $12 billion from China. But, and this is important, those private figures don't tell the whole story. The Chinese government funnels huge sums of money through state-backed funds, so the real investment race is probably much, much closer than these numbers make it look. You know, as the power and the costs are growing, something else is actually shrinking: transparency. The Foundation Model Transparency Index, it's a tracker for how openly companies share details about their AI. Well, its average score plummeted this year. So the takeaway is pretty clear. Just as these models become more powerful and more influential in our lives, the companies building them are telling us less and less about how they actually work.
Okay, this brings us to one of the biggest questions of all, the impact on our jobs. For years, AI disrupting the workforce felt like a prediction, something in the future. While the latest data shows it's not a prediction anymore, it's a reality. And we're already seeing a very specific pattern start to emerge. For young software developers, there's been a nearly 20% drop in employment since 2024. Now, this doesn't mean all developer jobs are vanishing. What it suggests is that it's the entry-level roles, that first rung on the career ladder, that are getting squeezed first. It might mean that breaking into the industry is about to get a whole lot different. So, with all of this change happening so fast, how do people actually feel about AI?
Well, it turns out our feelings are, shall we say, pretty complicated. It's a real mix of promise and disruption. And you can really see that complexity in the data. A global survey found 59% of us are optimistic about the benefits of AI. But at the exact same time, 52% of us also feel nervous about it. And yes, those numbers overlap because many of us feel both things at once. It's a technology that is somehow simultaneously exciting and unsettling. And this is where you see a huge disconnect between the people who build AI and the rest of us. When you ask if AI will have a positive impact on jobs, a massive 73% of the experts say yes, but only 23% of the public agree. That's a 50-point perception gap. I mean, that's not a gap, that's a chasm, and it's one that really needs to be bridged. All this means that, well, we're all pretty much learning on the fly. You've got 4 out of 5 university students already using AI for their studies. But our formal education systems, they're really struggling to keep up. Only half of secondary schools even have an AI policy. And get this, a tiny 6% of teachers say those policies are even clear. We're in the middle of this massive, informal, global self-education wave.
So, where does all of this leave us? What on earth happens next? Well, the report makes it pretty clear we're at a crossroads. We're facing a technology of absolutely immense power and, as we've seen, an equal amount of uncertainty. We've seen that AI's capabilities are accelerating at an incredible rate, its costs are growing, and its impact on our lives is becoming more real every single day. And all of this leaves us with the single most important question of all. As this incredible power grows and grows, who gets to decide how we use it?